Ah, there we go. Hi. Okay, I just realized that my microphone is on the other side of the desk. Hello. This is the animation desk. It is. I wanted to share. I wanted to show the desk. I just sort of ripped out the old vestiges of what it used to be. Let me see if I can move the microphone because that is important. But there's all these wires. There's a lot of wires. Sorry for the noise. I'll mute. Okay, I smashed the microphone around a little bit, so I'm glad that I muted. I'm trying to get you all the way closest to the desk. But I can't believe I forgot about the microphone part. Other than this is me. Hello, I'm Catherine. Welcome into the fog. Oh, my goodness. I literally started preparing like an hour ago, and I still am behind. I don't understand how this happens. But I guess it takes more time than I think every single time. I'm getting back into it, so I'm relearning things that I had already learned the lesson to. This wire isn't even attached to anything. What is this for? Okay. Here we go. Okay. The microphone is free. Mostly. Let me unplug the headphone part. I don't need the headphone part. You're just gonna dangle. Oh my god. I don't know how people like set up all of their things, all of their wires, and they're like, yep, this is how it's gonna be, and it's not gonna shift, and it's not gonna change, and it's not gonna be anything else other than what it is. I don't know how they do that. Okay. Oh, here's one of the first things about the desk. You can see my junk drawer. I have little bits and bobs in here, but it has these that slide over it. So you can put paper on here, and then it slides back in here. Giving you a little tour. I think it's a little low. I think you're a little low. So I'm just gonna move this monitor so it doesn't get hit. Move that monitor so it doesn't get hit. And ready? Oh, oh. Is something happening? Oh. Okay. Oh, oh, the monitor. Oh my god. It just caught the edge of the monitor. Okay, is this better? I was gonna do test camera angle shots and everything, and then I just had to feed the dog instead, so it happens. The most important thing is for you to see this, I guess. I have this little light. Does that help? Let's see. Wow, my hair. I brushed it, but I'm trying to go for volume right now. But it's kind of really annoying also right now. So maybe I'm gonna just see if I can do one of those white girl pencil twisty things. No. Ah, my goodness. Hold on. We're just setting up. just setting up. Okay, so I turn on this light, and then I'm coming back. Hello. Hi. How are ya? Got my sips. My Golden Girls mug. And I wanted to kind of show, well, I'll show this first. So this animation desk I got for $200 like 10 years ago or something. More than that. About that. About 2017 maybe. And this light probably has mercury in it. Gets clipped in. And then this is the thing. I don't think this was ever changed. So this was sitting like back there, and the light plugged into this. Look how old this is. Like, can you see how freaking old this is? It's got a button for here. Although this is fun. This one, that's fun. Old. I just like, and this. So this was I didn't see this until kind of recent. Oh, there's stuff on it. I didn't see this until we moved into this house, and we've been here 5 years maybe. Inside, all I knew was that this wire was sticking out, right? This wire was sticking out. And so this wire gets plugged into a surge protector. That caused a fire, a little spark, and then the surge protector melted and then shut off, and the box like had the little thing that, whatever. It was bad. Anyway, so I stopped using the light completely. That was like year 2 or 3. Look at this. Has the price tag and everything. Look at that. So they had just cut the wires off on that surge protector and these, and then roped it together. Or not on the surge protector. They didn't cut the wire on the surge protector. It's just old. This and what's in here. And so I wanted to show you what's in here. But also, I kind of want to save this button just for clicking's sake. I like it. I like the button. I like the button a lot. Okay, so I'm going to put that down. Oof. Had to rinse off my hands. It's disgusting. Oh, wait. I forgot the light. Well, I was keeping the light so I could show you. So basically, like, this comes off, well, for animation purposes, like, this rotates so you can get all the angles and everything that you need. And so it's a wonderful desk that I literally just cleaned, and it's already got stuff on it again. That's the problem with, like, black, painted surfaces, whatever. Like, you can see all the little bits and bobs of dust. But anyway, and the pegs come out so you can change the pegs and stuff. These are pegs, so you can set the paper, like hole punch the paper. This comes out, and then, ta-da! I think I can just take you out and show you. So this circle light, like, clicks in here, and it plugs into that, and I only have two hands. So annoying. This is back here what the clicky wire was fused to. Like, it was so makeshift. But anyway, if you've ever heard of Stone Mountain, when I was a kid, they had a really great laser light show. Ooh, look how shiny. It's because it's so shiny. You can see my hand reflection in it. Beautiful, wonderful. This animation desk is from, you got the pin board so you can pin all your thumbnails and stuff to it. I put my stuff on here. Put some stuff on here. That's from Welcome to the 90s, baby. Yeah, put a little, what does that even say? Oh, these are done. I'm gonna throw that out. Anyway, I'm all over the place, but hello, DeGuari. Hi, welcome to the desk. So these are just Govee lights that because I want to use the light. But, let me move the microphone back up over here. Couldn't do it. I couldn't cause the fires. So this no longer goes to anything. I am wondering if I should just take this out. They're not live. They're not plugged in anything, so that's fine. I had them on either side, but it just didn't do it. So these lights are powered. Got my little IKEA thing. But we can also change, like, the colors and, like, the pattern. So let's see how smoothly I can do this. When you put this back on. There you go. That's nice. I like that. Anyway, so that's that one. Put a weave. Hello? So I did that instead of actually preparing for the stream. But that's okay. What I wanted to do was, like, kind of use some physical media instead of just digital media to do some figuring stuff out. I will show you all my notebook progress that I've made. Actually, let me move this Mercury light so that I don't accidentally sit on it. That would be great. I love not breaking open Mercury lights, personally. We'll just set that there. Okay. So, sorry for all the noise. Sorry. I should have been more cautious. I apologize. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Can you go down like a little bit? So you can actually see what's here? Oh! Okay. So, I did have my style board. Don't look at my password. I do have like before we haven't really had like a style to go with that had like references and stuff, and those are really important, and also so that people, it's all about communication and clarity. It's all about communication and clarity, even to yourself. And all my original sketches for this were in pen. So I put together a little board. And Milano with, I've gone over this before, but just as a refresher, can y'all see that? There's like such a delay. We got Edward Gorey, we got N.M. Bodecker, and we got oh my brain. E.H. Shepard and N.M. Bodecker for some background references. So I figured like going black and white and like storybook, like having the edges around everything would kind of fit the feeling more. And here's the biggest thing for me. The biggest thing for me, and this was made very clear in a workshop that I went to yesterday, is that I am not good at it is a very weak muscle in my psyche for communicating my own creative decision making things in the area of like concept like this, visual development, so loosey goosey. It is so loosey goosey. It is whatever possibilities are endless. Like there's no parameters. There's just like, you got to create your own parameters. It's very self-directed, and I hate it. I love writing because you have a structure and you lay the story over it and everything. And it's just fun. I love production. I love doing the thing because then you get to like do the thing and you're doing the thing, and then there's an end to that. And then post, where I've had most of my career so far. Post, you get to put a bow on it, and there's deadlines, and it's energy, and it's fun, and you do the thing, and then you wrap a bow on it, and you give it to somebody, and it's the end, and you get to see the final product. It's wonderful. And then it goes to distribution, which that's a whole other thing. There's no end to it in visual development. The end is you've decided you want to do pre-production now. That's what it feels like to me. So I've started doing more parameters. We're going back a little bit. We're using all the stuff that all the wonderful, lovely people have provided for us. But here is there we go. Little sketch. I really want to get the environment kind of planned out. So if we're talking in writing, if we're talking in writing terms, I dropped my perspective, my high concept perspective tool that you clip this onto the side, and that's your vanishing point. So there you go, there's your vanishing point. It's fine. It's just dangling off the side here, so I'm definitely gonna be accidentally throwing it to the ground. There's pantsers, people flying by the seat of their pants, and there's planters, people who like plan everything out and they plant their garden. Is that it? No, there's planners who plan everything out. And then planters, that's what I'm trying to get at. Planters are people who do a mix of both. And I have figured out I am that. I need a bunch of structure, and then I also need to like improv when I'm doing the step that I'm on. So I would like to plan out a bunch of how the environment of this neighborhood where all these people live could be. Ooh, okay. Thank you. I'm gonna have to look up Jacob Kafka and Rough Animator. Okay. Thank you so much. I love having stuff to look at. So I'm just gonna share this stuff that I did, and then we're just gonna basically figure some stuff out. This is not it. This is it. I showed these. I showed a couple of the characters that we're doing, but it's not quite in the style yet. Whatever. Oh, no. That's not it. That's it. I feel like that feels close to what I want for him. But, like, what level of detail and what level of not detail do we want? And also, like, I like to figure out the shapes first and then add the details as we go. So, what? There. That's when I figured her out. This Geraldine, the main character, she lives in a lighthouse. We got Samson, the dog, her best friend. This. Everything is all over the place. I hate how loosey-goosey. I love databases and spreadsheets and stuff. There we go. Like hanging out on a bench above everything, looking at everything. Like that kind of feeling. I want there to be like an upper part and like a lower part. They're like set inside of a cliffside that has been reclaimed by nature, sort of. And I got some of this. So maybe like looking out like a little inlet kind of thing. And they're up there, and that's the lighthouse. Thank you. Something like that, you know? Like, oh my gosh, this is way earlier. I've never really done a whole lot of environment planning before, or like outside stuff, and it is a different beast. So part of earlier, I was thinking of doing like, is it just set against the cliff face, like flat, and the homes come out of it? Or is it like, did a channel of water like scoop out part of this? Like how has the greater environment like affected this one area where they've chosen to live? And then we did on Blender, kind of a cliff face that had a chunk out of it, a big thing out of it. So I think, and according to like a lot of our other visual reference, it's right here, so I'll just pop that up. I know I'm just like showing stuff on a sketchbook and a computer, which is kind of funny. But a lot of the rock face stuff that we have for our, oh my god, it's so reflective, for our little mood board thing. Ooh, which direction? Feels like more of that. That like there was a cliff face and it got broken off. I might just keep this part up so that I can have it as a reference here. I don't know if this light is like doing anything. Does it help? Or it just makes a big point of contrast. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna see how I can position you here, and we're just gonna like sketch and talk about it, I guess. That's the thing. I've done this digitally before, but never, not really like this. Not really like this. So, first of all, we're not going to the underbelly, but I do have some coffee. So we're gonna take a sip of coffee. If anybody else is working on any projects, I would love to know about that. That would be fun. Working on projects together. The environment stuff feels very intimidating to me because it is unknown territory. So I also want the, let me get the style thing up just so I can look at it. Maybe I should like print it out and like put it here or something. That would be fun. That might take a while though. We could do that though. Maybe. Actually, no, for real, let's do that. Export. Come with me so you don't just see nothingness. Okay. So we're gonna export it. This is Milanote. Should we do a PDF or just a PNG? Let's see what a PNG is. And then it generates it. It's not sponsored by Milanote or anything. I know a lot of people get sponsors or whatever, but you can do so many different things. I've created mood boards professionally through this before. Let's see. So now we got this. it has the other boards and stuff. And then can we print? No printer selected. Is that the one? I think that's the one. Can we grayscale this? Because this one is really dark. Print in color. Do not print in color. Yes, print in black and white. And that's what we want anyway. Okay. So while that's printing out, I'll go get that in a minute. But let's, hello? That would be cool to have more than just like my phone camera at some point. So then you could see like multiple things. Okay, so some of the things. That is really loud. I have this ink thing, and I have like these kinds of pens, but all of the lines in our thing are a little sketchier, like in our style. Ooh, let me get it. It printed. Ah, haha. Okay. We did it. we did it. So now we have our style able to be referenced. So studying this, the biggest variance is like the Winnie the Pooh stuff because it's a lot more like sketchy. And like Edward Gorey's is a lot of texture, a lot more texture describing everything. And then N.M. Bodecker has like, yeah, sure, texture in the shadows, but most of it is line. So these aren't the most super varying. They are all ink or pencil, and that's nice. And the forms all feel like they use similar shape language, and that's what kind of drew me to this. So that's... I just keep looking at this and like the composition. This one, like the composition is so... Edward Gorey has like really, really strong compositions. N.M. Bodecker stuff is really, really filled, but like it's still like visually, the visual hierarchy is tellable. Like the big thing here is Jane from Half Magic, like looking at the thing, and then like everybody's eyes draws you to her or whatever. The relationship between Pooh and Christopher here. But like even in this crowded composition, like everybody's eyes are facing the king. And when we look at stuff, we look at people's eyes first and where they're looking. Like a very strong diagonal composition. This is not environment stuff. These are just like characters putting in the environment. So more of the notes need to be about, more of what we're thinking about need to be about like the edges of things, the actual environment. Strong, I think the big thing to take from this is going to be like the strong object defining lines, because even in Edward Gorey's stuff, you still have like, even though the shapes are all like filled, you still have like an outline. So we are looking to have outlines. We're gonna write this down. Outlines, strong silhouette. And the texture. That is the big thing. What about the texture? Okay. So these are different people. So Edward Gorey uses, I actually have an Edward Gorey book right here as well. So if we're just focusing on Edward Gorey, let's look at Edward Gorey. I love this thing up here. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a, that thing, the yellow thing. It's just a bunch of wires, and you can, it's like a curled wire, and you just stick stuff in it. It's great. Okay. So I don't know how much like copyrighty thing, but like we're looking at it for educational purposes. It's like a flip book, so we have the back as one, and then the stories meet in the middle. Oop. Oh, my receipt. You may also like several of these other books. Oh, it's got recommendations on it. That's a fun receipt. We're gonna just tuck that right there. So, texture. Oh, this is all colors. I don't really want that one. I want this one. The textures all wrap around the form. On a lot of these, even like defining like the cloth and stuff, or the trees. I feel like his sky always goes here too. When it's fabric or like the wallpaper, it's different because you're defining like the wood or something else. But when it's just plain sky, he does horizontal hashes, and horizontal is really calm. You can see like the square around her head where the lines overlap and stuff. It's so interesting. So it is like a solid form with like texture inside, and I feel like that format really will work well with the texturing that we will probably be doing in Blender. Here it also describes the form. These are a little blurry. Honestly, this printing on this paper is not the most wonderful, but that's okay. And high contrast. That is something that even in an Bodeker's work, like we see in the background of this castle, like it's very dark and then the foreground is a lot lighter. So that pushes everything on top of it because it's outlines with very little texture. Very little texture defining the forms compared to Edward Gorey. It makes it stand out. It makes it a hierarchy. But like this high contrast, like this little boy within all of these adults, or these dark chairs. And honestly, I think that goes here, like in Bodeker stuff. Not so much here, but like it is like outdoor lighting and there is like fairly high contrast. So I think we should put high contrast on our list that we're looking at on how to look at our resources, our research. Texture. Defines forms. So it doesn't just go against anything. The texture defines the forms. It's not like chowder, where the texture is like a fun visual element. Oh my gosh. The hatching actually defines the forms, which is great because we're doing 3D backgrounds. And then high contrast. Okay. I think these are some pretty good things. Like solid outlines, texture defines the form. This is fun, like ink washy. I like that. Even in the wallpaper, like the hatching, the cross hatching here differentiates the different planes of the walls. So you know you're like looking at a corner, even though it's pretty flattened perspective. Look at that, we got some high contrast again. And like here, highly textured. Edward Gorey's stuff is highly textured. And I feel like that goes with the E.H. Shepard stuff. Like all the Winnie the Pooh stuff is also really highly textured. And in Bodeker is the in-between for those, kind of bringing them together. That's fun. And the other thing is organic shapes. That is the thing that I was really struggling with previously. Ghost stories. I'll put that one facing forward now. That I was really struggling with because I had very graphic shapes. That's what I was working with for the characters, but now they are a lot more organic. Okay, so starting big, I guess. These are the things that we want to be focusing on. And the thing that I struggle with most is in my art stuff is like, I just want the first thing to be the thing. I want the first thing to be like, that's it and it's done. But like, you have to experiment and like do things over and over again and play around, and I just want to do the thing. So, we might struggle with that. And by we, I mean me, but you're here along for the ride. Oh, this is like the proper way that you're supposed to hold a grease pencil. Like a freaking bow hold or whatever. And then you like use this. And the thing that you're supposed to keep in mind with drawing is to draw from like the biggest joint possible. So you don't want to like too much do this or this. You want to like draw from the elbow or the shoulder. And they have like huge exercises in art school about that. Anyway, I'm getting distracted and I just talk. I like talking. Okay. All right, here we go. Here I am. So we have a cliff face, and it kind of goes, because like water eats at it this way, so it's probably like this. Let me look at the style. Ooh. My computer screen. Style, inspiration. It's okay. Yeah, the cliffs do that. Can I like put this here? Okay. I don't know if you can see that. I don't think you can see it at all. Meow. I got that. And we got this. Okay. Cool. Can you see it? Am I blocking anything off when I'm like doing stuff? No, I don't think so. Okay, cool. So we've got like these cliffs, the cliffs of Dover. Kind of like chalky. But like all of the other rocks are not. Even the other coastal cliffs are not. And those, the more solid the rock, the harder it is to let the water wash it away. And then maybe like there is like a thick fog, you know. So maybe landscapey. And then I love the idea of like the moss being like the grass, because the proportions, I want the world to them to be small at the beginning, so they're gonna be small. And the world will be big. And then when they get to the other side, and this is going to be the weirdest thing in the environment building. Oh, I forgot. She's like this now with her legs. The grass will be normal. So as the time goes on, like she normalizes to what the world also is. Womp womp. Okay. because she's traveling, but the people staying here are just here pretty much the whole time. And the other thing is that if there's like water, like a river that sort of like empties out through here, and then it kind of like, that's my idea, is that like it cracked the area. Now it's just kind of like a trickle, a stream, but like that it opened up like a little area so that now the water goes like this. And this is where we're at. Like this cliff area that got you know, broken off. Grease pencil is nice. It's so much thinking with your brain, which sounds so silly, but like, man, it's a lot of thinking. I might actually sit down for a minute. Oh, so I press this sit button. Oh, it's still going. Oh, it's still going. Okay. And then let's... You dropped. Let's see if we can't... See, this is what I'm talking about. Look, you see my fingerprints. Black is a very interesting color. Okay. You can still see this, right? I'm just going to sit down for a little bit because I have to stand up for over there. Okay. I want to cross my feet. Oh, no. Okay. The pad for changing the desk height, I'm new to this. Very new to this. Can you see it? Is it like clear enough for you? You want to be closer? Ah! Oh my gosh, this thing keeps like unhooking. Okay. You get to see my understorage for my animation desk. Stay right there. Don't be weird. Okay, thank you. And then we should definitely have the microphone close by. Hello. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bike. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bike. I just got the grease pencil because that's like big overall shapes, but like I really want to use my ballpoint pen to do things because it's nice and sketchy, and it feels like more of what this stuff is. Maybe. So if we like zoom in, let's say over here. Wow. taken me so many lines. Switching from grease pencil to switching mediums is interesting. It's like use a similar composition to the gory one that we keep looking at. Okay. Maybe some. How scale wise, when they are here, how big are they? How big are they in relation to the cliff, you know? I feel like that, like the proportions is such a difficult thing, even though I'm like, I'll say like, oh, baby's breath would be this big, salt vein would be this big, something else would be this big, and they are like this big comparatively. It doesn't really get it across in my brain. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Giraffe here. Womp, womp, womp. And he's very long. He's got legs that he's standing on. He's got a hat. He's got his little things. And we're doing that. I would like to, I think, in terms of character texturing, stick more towards the half magic style, where it's not too much texturing inside and it's more about the forms. I would like to stay kind of close to that. Ooh, hello? You were standing perfectly fine a minute ago. And then how much texturing can we get away with? No, oh my gosh, my producer brain is already thinking about like how we need to achieve the end goal, but we haven't even started this thing. So we're just playing around. It doesn't have to be the end part. That is the most difficult thing for me, is like it doesn't have to be the end part. Okay. And then I have never drawn this before. Let's see. If we're at like Samson's house, he's got his little doghouse thing. It's got the little gates, the little gate. It's got this, and it's got this, and we've got like glass here. It's a little gate. It's a little whale thing. Okay, whatever. I don't even know if this is like good perspective. Whatever. So we have a character, and then we have Samson's like this height. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we do this, and we go up, and we go this, and he's really tapered, and we do this, and then we do his legs. He's got 3 legs. That one's in the back. Sure. Doot. Ear, nose. Okay. We've got 2 characters. How do we describe this background? There's like the inner wall. So we've got all of these things. We know from our studies that we want outlines. We got our strong silhouettes, and then The texture has to define the form, so it has to go along with the form. And if we're looking at things in our references that have like wood frames, like wood, or like the house things, or the stairs, we got some hatches. We're gonna do some hatching. So the different hatches that we have available to us, I'm just gonna do a little cube over here so we can try to define what we want. It's a silly cube. Hatches. Can you even see what I'm doing? Or do you, since my hand block it and you only see it after? That's kind of funny. I'm going to get some more coffee. Hold on. I'm going to sip my coffee even more. Whew. This is like brain power, but I feel like the more that I do this and think about things, the easier it is going to be. Right now it feels like difficult because it's a lot of decision making and I want to already have it done. Okay. I'm just going to we can do hatch one way all the way down. And the thing is with the 3D backgrounds that I'm wondering about texturing is like permanent lighting baked into it, or I know I just said like don't think ahead and I'm doing it again, but whatever. So then we have hatches straight down and then we have hatches straight across that we can do. My horizontal ones always kind of like overlap. Always, but my vertical ones may not. And then we can do cross hatching. Those are the hatches available to us in our reference. And cross hatching, pretty much always. Cross hatching will define a shadow. And then hatches will describe a form. Hatches describe a form. I forgot to reply. I replied verbally, just not in the chat. So I will do that again because I keep coming back to it and thinking about it, and I hope that you don't feel ignored because I said it verbally. I did not say it physically. Okay. I guess who almost choked on the coffee? Coffee. So, if we have roof tiles, I'm just doing like a quick then I feel like we would have little hatches. Like it would go this way, like down the roof. You know? And that like these lines would like be defining the sides. How Hatches. How hatched do we want everything to be? Do we want some sort of ink washy thing also? Like, I don't know if that's very visible to you. Or if it's like blurry. Because sometimes it's blurry to me when I'm looking at it, and then like you can clearly see it when I look back at these videos, and I'm like, what the heck? Like when we were doing our fun Saturday stream, it was definitely a case of that. I kept thinking nobody could see anything, and then they could. Coffee's all gone. Like we were building, this is the head of an AT-AT from Star Wars. Yes, one of the panels did fall off, but it did make it easier to build. So we're going to be finishing that up this week, I think. I think I got out a sticker. Time fatigue. That's so janky. Why is her face like that? What is going on? Oh. Why is her chin like that? These are not official, apparently. There's a lot of fan art in these. Some of them are really, really good. I will share to you what I'm looking at. I'm looking at some Hilda stickers that I received. A lot of these feel like fan art. Oh. I really loved this show. It was so good. I definitely cried when it ended. I'm glad that it happened. Ooh, shapes. I like that guy. That troll. Just wants some inspiration. Do. And then I saw the sticker and I was like, okay. Sure. Can we put this on something? I don't know. I literally just saw it and was like, okay. Now I have no idea what to do with it. Oh, I've been focusing for too long. Okay, we got this. We can do this. Okay, we're drawing. In order to incorporate more of this in as well, I feel like it would be cool to have lighter hatching. Oops, sorry, I keep bumping the microphone. I don't know what that sounds like to you. To have lighter hatching for some things. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Cross hatches for shadows. Like that doesn't feel very shadowy to me. Interesting. I wonder if instead of like a ballpoint, what it would feel like with a micron. instead. I feel like it's drying out a little. This one's drying out a little bit, but whatever. Okay. All right. And then we have a little edge. I feel like just my hand is blocking everything. If I do this, can you see better? If I try lefty style. Doing all the little hatches, because if it's a 3D object, it's gonna have a ledge, so that is something to deal with. Are we gonna have to do all these by hand in the 3D program, or is there a way to procedurally do these is my big question, you know? Okay. So let me just do that for every single one. Ugh. Just takes a while. But it's all good. It's very calming. I feel like a lot of stuff taking out like the quote unquote boring stuff is like taking out a lot of like peace of mind activities. And you only have like the high energy, high thought ones, and I don't know that that's good because your brain needs time to like rest and adjust and transition between thoughts, between activities. Stuff like that. So like when I was doing my big senior project, the last few weeks, I kept asking other seniors if I could help color on their films, which is like the last step. It's kind of a quote unquote boring step. Oop. Oh my god, I thought there was a bug on my neck. There's not. If we have angled wood, how would it go? This is obviously getting very messy, but oh yeah. And it was great to transition between doing high thought process things. I have to go a little slower with my left hand. But I'm kind of digging these organic shapes, these more wobbly lines, because it feels kind of like wood. Okay. See, I would never know my left hand could do wood texture. And that the Micron could do these. I forget, because the Micron, if it's drying out, you can get some really interesting textures. Anyway, it was just really like nice to have something like calming to do between all of the like high intensity stuff, and it made it, people were like, I don't know about this whenever they would hand me stuff, and then I'd like get it done within the hour, because it's just, you know, on a break. It's not, coloring is not super difficult work in Harmony. And it makes everything look good. And so you get like little check marks in your heart. And you get to do things. You get to study other people's animation so you can turn your brain on if you want. But you don't have to. Too much if you really pipeline it. And like just do all of one object, all of another. I think I'm going to enjoy the process for this more if I look at that. That's fun. That's nice. I like that. If I like break it down like this kind of thing. Sorry, that should have been like this as well. Okay. Do the last little section. So that's good for architecture. Now, how do we do like landscape? Doing similar things with the planes and everything. I might switch us to the computer to try out some Blender stuff. Maybe. I might. Who knows? I don't. But I think the hatching here like just does not equate with the character size and scale, and I think that's what's really getting me. Let me draw a quick Samson here. Boom, boom, boom. Got the nose, got the ear, got the other ear, got the tail. Okay. I also got told on like abstracted, I did not show in this workshop the correct versions of these guys that I wanted to. And I got told, oh, they're just fun shapes. I don't see how they could be like animated characters. And I'm like, okay. But like my brain did not realize that that's all they were seeing. So this is under the ledge. We should be doing like a cross hatching for here. But like the scale of the hatches and the scale of the characters is going to be an interesting match or mismatch, you know? Do we do this kind of cross hatching? Or do we do like cross? Do we do this? Like which one feels better? I don't know. This is all visual development is like doing and design stuff. Oh my gosh. I don't know how people do it. I like coming in right after that. So doing this stuff is like, I don't know, unpracticed. I'm not going to say bad. I'm not going to say the worst. I'm not going to say my own personal hell. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say I'm just really unpracticed. And obviously these hatches are with my non-dominant hand, so they're not the best. But it is nice to practice compared with this line. And I do kind of like so do we do like that compared to him? Or do we like keep it really tiny? I don't know, let me take you out of your little holding thing. Or do we do it like really tiny? I feel like keeping the hatches smaller feels better with your size, sir. I'm just doing this. I know it's like two different types of hatches. But you can do different types of hatches and have different types of texture too. So how much just texture defining do we want to do as well? Because we can have a mix. I hate that it goes super blurry when I try to... Can I like zoom in? No. Whatever. Yeah. But it just like, this pen does not equate. Like these kinds of lines do not look like these kinds of lines. That's why I was using the ballpoint. It doesn't look like this kind of line. So like, since we're doing it digitally, we're gonna have to figure out a line quality that is between these two. There you go. That's between this and this. Now I do have a lot of other pens if we want to just do some references. I think my laptop is sitting on top of them. Okay. Whoa. Set that aside. So we do have like this smaller, I think this is 0.05, so we can try the smaller versions. This is a 0.03, and it obviously has more ink. This 0.05 is very highly used. And just for reference, the 0.08, this is the 0.08, which is a lot thicker. And we could also mix and match, like do the outlines with a 0.08 and then do all the little textures with a smaller one. So that's the 0.01. And then one of my favorites, the 0.05. I don't know if you can even see this. The tip of this is very, very tiny. But you get some really, really fine details with that one. If we had him in a little sweater. Oh, I'm focused on me again. And you just see my hand. That's not fun. You're here to be part of it. Let me see if I can. Oh. Sorry, it's just you are my phone. What's that? I want to put you more in the center. Sorry. And then up. Nope. Be in the middle. kind of close. I think that's as close as we'll get for right now. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, maybe I'll try this. And we're not going to put this on an angle at all. And you're just going to be upside down, and I'm going to hold you. Okay, anyway. Ooh. I love being able to do the teeny tiny details. That brings me a lot of joy. And it kind of has like a knit texture feel. Oh my god. Him with little toesies. Yes. Yeah, that's cute. I like that. Sorry, I'm not like talking more. It's so relaxing to do the little. I have another thought about what if we did some of this kind of stuff and just did a bunch of hashes and then put that into the computer. Instead of like how people do painterly strokes. That might be interesting. This is still character stuff. And we need to define an environment. And I just keep avoiding it, and I keep going to other things, and I don't mean to. It's just kind of where my brain's been taking me. But I do really like the smaller. I think we were going too big. I think 0.05 is way too big. I think we need to stick with like 0.03 to 0.05 if we're gonna be doing this kind of stuff. Okay. So if it's like a cliff, okay, yeah. I think the contrast is going to be better with the microns as well. Look how much darker. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a lot darker with the micron. So we're going to have more of that high contrast rather than the low contrast. So it's getting worn away. We do have some can I just do this? Yeah, just physically move you around, I guess. Okay. If the water has been there for a while, then it's probably like eating the ground away, so it's gonna be dipped in the middle. And then like, if we had a little bank, but then like the water had disappeared a little bit. So not that severe of a corner, but just like where the water has trickled down to and then we'll have a little waterfall. And then we have like the grass. Up here. And it continues back or whatever. Can I have like a bridge here to block? It blocks it off. But something like in the foreground, you know? We'll try that out. And a lot closer together. I really like the 0.01 because it's darker, and then we'll have the cross hatching for the little shadowy part. I wonder how we can achieve like a cross hatching effect like that in Blender. I'm gonna write that note. How to achieve, without just like, I mean procedurally, cross hatching. Effect in Blender. And then I feel like there's an edge to this. And that would probably... Oh my goodness, I need to move my chair a little bit so that I can get around the camera. Yep, just doing all the little boring stuff. But like in doing this, it makes my brain feel freer to think about all the other problems that we are solving. I had a professor who said, don't think of things as problems, think of them as hurdles. I'm like, okay, the problem is the hurdle. Like, I don't know, like I didn't like that. It is a problem and you solve the problem. And then the hatching will not be as severe. But I guess it would still go this way, right? Because it's the top plane. I don't know if I like that. I feel like if we have that kind of a thing. Okay. I feel like this feels correct in describing a side plane. I feel like we went wrong with this because now they're all facing the same direction, but they're different planes. So, like, we need different planes to meet each other at different ways so that it feels like, that it actually feels like a different plane. See, I didn't draw any outlines, but you can feel the plane. The different sides of it. So I like this for describing part of a cliff. And then it would have to be this way, right? Would it? Or would it just be this? Yeah. We gotta come up with like the design rules or whatever. Yeah, that feels like it describes, because that's one of our things, is the hatches have to define the forms. And this doesn't feel like it's defining the form. Something where the planes go against each other feels like it defines the form more. And then this one would go this way. And then this would go this way. Something like that. That's very interesting. Okay, so if we have this plane go this way, we have this plane go this way, and the hatching, that feels like it defines the form a little better. This is so messy, but I like this one better. I don't know. That's so interesting. We're gonna have to think about a lot of different planes coming together and folding over each other and what that means. And then would we want to add any kind of ink washing stuff? Kind of ink washing to like push stuff into the background or whatever, you know? Or to enhance. Would we want that to like enhance any of the hatches? And kind of, put like a shadow thing on? Or do we want it all to be defined completely with hatches? Because we could have slightly different color materials and then use the hatches for texture and further shading. I feel like that is going to be an interesting question because we do have a lot of high contrast things. So we could use gradient ramps and stuff. Do we want any ink washing? We could, since it's I think we might have to use ink washing, maybe not to push things back, but if, oh, no. Okay. If we look back at the one Edward Gorey one of the kid floating in like the basement, and there's the stairs. Oh, is it like a lot further this way? Oh no, we just saw it. I literally just saw it. Come on, where is it? I have it in my brain. I have it in my brain to remind you of the mess. This one. So this one in general is mostly defined, like the texture is the hatching and all that kind of stuff. But there is like the ink wash background, and that kind of blurs things out versus like making the night through the window pane be like this. But there is ink washing behind that, and there is like this kind of thing behind that, like a solid color kind of thing, and then just the texture of the window pane is over it. But like using this kind of ink wash for the fog, the titular into the fog, is kind of like a melted, this kind of thing, sounds cool to me. So a lot of the forms would be defined and stuff, and then we can have this in like the background. I don't know. The ending of The Pit season 2. Woof. Let me squeeze some more in there. Make the grass part a little darker. Like that kind of a thing. So that can like push things back a little bit, while the higher contrast stuff is more forward. So instead of like being a shadow, yeah, let's write that down. Not with the 0.05, that's very delicate. Oops. I got my ink wash on me. Ink wash for fog elements. BG? Like background? So then there would be like a light, even lighter than this, like ink wash over this stuff. And then you'd just be left with that. Ooh. Is this, need to get this lighter. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So all of this is pushed back. And this is there too. So we just have the foreground thing. Ooh. Dab that up. Come here. I don't want you. There we go. Oh, that makes things stand out a lot. That makes things stand out a lot, actually. Oh, I'm kind of digging that, actually. And then instead of, like, dark lines like that... Ooh, brain turning. Okay, hold on 1 second. We have markers. We have markers. Are they like all here? Did I choose them here? These? I think I do have some in here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. Here's like a brush marker. Ooh. Or these. I'll keep this one out too. My mom would just get some. My mom would get some at Michael's or something. Okay, keep this one in mind. Alright, keep this one in mind. We're gonna try these out on a new page. You are a good inspiration, little man. It's a good inspiration for some reason. Come on, buddy. Sorry for all the noise. Sorry for all the noise. Okay. I'm trying to get it like zoomed out. Does this? Sorry, 1 second. Trying to get it at a good angle for you as well. It just keeps wanting to tilt all the way down. There we go. Okay. Okay, so using this as inspiration, I'm going to just like see if these pens work actually. I don't know if they work. You're not black. You're not the darkest dark. Okay, let's see what of these pens work. If not, I have other ones. Oh, it works. Okay, cool. This is like a warm gray. It's like a cool gray. This is definitely a warm gray. Cool gray. Darker. And darkest. Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna get rid of the warm ones. I'm gonna put those back just because mixing warm gray and cool gray makes color be more of a thing rather than just tone. And then we have this dark one, cold gray. Okay, so now we have a wash and we have some of the pens. So I am going to kind of lightly map out like we were doing earlier. We have this, we have the little bank, we have the waterfall, we have the bank, and then we have this. Okay, that's kind of it. We have the grass just mapped out, and we have the water. And then we have the cliff edge. And we have some moss stuff. Okay, mapped out. Lightly mapped out. So instead of like here where there's like hard black edges, I'm going to use one of the lighter, one of this. Should have done this in pencil. Like, no, I think it's fine. I'm going to use this. That's the lightest one that we have. Yeah. And then we are also going to have, with the harder lines, we're going to have something I'm just going to do like a plane of wood. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Just so we like have something like high contrast, and then we can have the low contrast. Okay. I feel like we should have like a middle ground thing over here, which is still, since it's not the background, still in this darker ink actually. Okay, so wait, there's two choices that we have. So we can have, let's do a little thumbnail here. We could have something very high contrast here and like mid contrast here or high contrast here, and then use like the slightly darker marker to do the outline for this one, and then it would be blurry as well. So let's see with our little thumbnail what that would look like. Like that. Or like this. And which makes it look more pushed back. I don't know if you can see that. I think I honestly like this one better. It's so tiny. Hold on. Because I'm just looking at it. But like, oh, it's so blurry. Okay. If this is 1 and this is 2, which one makes the object on the right look pushed back more? I'm pretty sure it's this, to me. Because it's kind of like faking a camera blur. So we'll do that over here. Okay, this is like actually really exciting to me. I really like this. I don't know how we would be doing this. Finishing point like here. Is this the darker one? Yeah, and this is the lighter one. Yeah. It just looks the same to me. Whatever. just doing a little 1 point perspective. Womp womp womp. Thing. So I guess the hatching would be done with this one as well. If it's like this. Okay. Interesting. Okay. How did we figure out we were going to define things? I did it wrong, but whatever. This is just testing everything out, you know? Okay. And then whatever. Do not do that amazingly well, but whatever. And then we do the same kind of thing over here, but it's going to be higher contrast. Oh, I'm kind of getting excited with like little design rules. That's fun. And then this would be this way, honestly. I feel like this should have been this way. And this should have been... Technically it is in the shadow, so it's cross-hatching, but whatever. Pushed it across. And then we do... this. Okay. And then we can do an outline. We can do the outline. This is the darkest one. This is the darkest one. This is the darkest one. That is really nice. That is a really nice marker. This feels good, actually. I did not trust these at all. Wow. Okay, and then we do our little ink wash thing that we did. Let me make sure that this is okay. This is for the overall. Everything that's not the thing in the foreground. And then we wait for it to dry a little bit. And we squeeze a little more ink into the well. I need to refill this. This is like pretty much empty at this point. And then we do... Ooh. Ah! Okay, well... Spread that ink around. Not onto this thing. But you do get that. Right up to it. Right up to it. There you go. Oh, this is the littlest one. I need the pointer one. Now, would this be a compositing thing, or would it render like this in the thing? Or would we have to do this shot per shot? Because this offers a sense of atmospheric perspective. I'm going to do it one more time. But I'm not going to include this thing this time. I know the page is buckling right now, but it's okay. Thicker edges, because it kind of gives that like blur effect, and then the background is just okay. This feels a lot better. This feels a lot better. Like there's rules. Gouache. No sharp edges. Two shapes. I like it. I like this. I like it. I like it. I like it. And then it kind of feels, then we can put the mist. How to incorporate the fog? It's pretty titular. I feel like in the thing we could have planes between stuff. That would be good. There's my notes and stuff. There's a heavy vignette on the Camo Studio here. But like, I feel like that kind of a thing feels like we have something technological to try to achieve as well. Because how would we do this? I don't know. I think, yeah, it's like 4 p.m. That was like 2 hours. That was 2 hours of good brain thinking and stuff. There we go. So that was the visual development for Monday that we have done. Oh my gosh. Wow. I feel like I need to, I'm definitely gonna like pin this somewhere. Like, we're gonna have this maybe like here, honestly. Yeah. I'm gonna do that right now while you're here. I'm gonna pin this, tape this. I have tape on my snail. You have to like, it was really dusty and I couldn't get the dust off. Apparently I did not get the dust off. So that tape was unusable. It was not sticky any longer. We'll fix that. But yeah, this was great. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. And just be straight across. There you go. Beautiful. We got it taped to the computer now, so we can always have it and have a little inspiration board always there. I feel like I should say something cool and profound, because I feel like I had a lot of breakthroughs. There were a lot of times that I wanted to just like give up, but and be like, but I didn't. We pushed through. We persevered and actually found some cool stuff. And if the art is something that's slightly outside of our reach, then we have something to like go for, and that makes it interesting instead of something that we're just doing to do. We want to push ourselves. That's one of the main tenets of why I wanted to do this, was to push myself and learn. And I started falling into like, I just need to get it done. So I think we did it. I think we have a good thing to try to aim for. I'm interested to see, should we be doing this in compositing? And we would like render in layers, render each thing in layers, or what? Do we just have everything in like a regular grease pencil? Maybe we have everything in like a regular grease pencil, like normal texture defining thing, and then we do like a post-processing thing to get it there. But yeah, we'll see. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. And I will see you later. We are doing more visual development stuff. I think we're gonna be figuring out Blender stuff. I'm already gonna be jumping on trying to achieve this, just like a little proof concept kind of setup for Blender to see what it will look like. And then we're gonna be working on this more on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or Eastern Daylight Time. Are we on EDT? Eastern. East Coast. -5 GMT. Are we -4 now? Does it change? I don't know. But we're going to be working on that. And I'm really feeling pumped. Feeling good. Feeling like it's something that we can have fun and achieve. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. I will see you on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Goodbye. End. Let me figure out how to end this.